Welcome. This masterclass is for entrepreneurs who are successful or you're on your way there, but feel like consistency takes more effort than it should. If you've ever wondered why discipline, also referred to quite a bit as the hustle, works for you sometimes, but collapses under pressure or exhaustion, if you love your business, or perhaps you love the idea of freedom, why you started it, but don't want to lose yourself in the process, you're in the right place. Let me get started with this. You probably don't lack discipline. You show up, you push, you hustle, you follow through until you just can't anymore. Or you still are pushing, but it's not working anymore. And when that happens, you assume something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with your systems, with your process, with your people. I don't know, but you always will think something's wrong. Here's what you usually do. You get more structure, you get more coaches, you get a new CRM, you get sales training, you try and figure out how to change your mindset or get more willpower, or you just apply more pressure. But here's what I've seen again and again with high performers. If discipline feels hard, it's not because you're weak. It's just because you're misaligned. Discipline is not meant to override who you are. And it sure as heck isn't there to sacrifice your health. It's meant to express who you really are, to share more of your gifts, not steal them. When discipline is disconnected from who you are, from core values that you've chosen and you know why, it can feel heavy. When it's aligned, when you know what drives you, you know what your core values are, and they're not ones you've been conditioned with necessarily. Perhaps the name's the same, but the meaning of why they're yours is chosen and defined by you. Success feels natural. It feels inevitable. Let's redefine discipline together. Discipline is not forcing yourself to do the things you resent. It's not hustling and white knuckling your habits that you're copying from somebody else because they told you you should. It's not punishment. If it feels that way, I want you to listen more closely. Real discipline is, think of it as like self-respect in action. It's what happens naturally when your goals match your values and your standards are yours and they reflect your truth, and your system and your culture support how you actually want to operate. When those things are aligned, consistency doesn't require a lot of hard work to get motivated. It just requires more alignment and honesty with what you desire, with who you really are and what you really want. And when you have that kind of real honesty, things get a lot easier to sustain than by forcing discipline or hustle. Let me give you a real example. So I see entrepreneurs all the time forcing this thing called hustle or disciplined routines that somebody told them they should. And if they do this, then they'll be successful. Maybe it's super early mornings, 4 a.m. or who knows what, or rigid schedules or relentless output. Perhaps it means, hey, this is a season of hustle and you got to work whenever the work's there. But guess what? The work's always there. It's there in the daytime and the nighttime, on vacations. It's there 24/7. If you let it knock on your door and you open it. So you begin to think that this discipline, this hustle means doing what you should do, even if it drains you. And a lot of the time I talk to people and they're doing it for other people, for their loved ones. And then they realize that their loved ones are missing out on the most important thing, and that's them. That's their presence. That's their time. Here's the thing though. Hope is not lost. Hope is opening up now. Awareness, conscious awareness creates opportunity. The moment we realign, when I work with individuals to realign their business with their actual values and what is valuable to them, and we align in a way so that's what's valuable to them, they actually create instead of sacrifice, freedom, time, connection. How they think, how they create, how they lead, everything changes at work, at home, in their body. Decisions speed up. Their follow through comes with ease. Their energy rises. Their presence is possible. They stop negotiating with themselves every day. Nothing magical happened, although quite often they and I feel magical. They didn't become more disciplined. They didn't adopt all the shoulds out there. They didn't even do what I say they should, because I'm not going to should all over anyone. I'm going to encourage them to discover who they are, to be honest with what they want. And when we have that honesty, that connection to authenticity, friction and obstacles are removed. Here's the line I want you to remember. Discipline doesn't break down because you're inconsistent or not hustling hard enough. It breaks down because you're trying to live by values or shoulds that aren't yours. That's the real reason that discipline cracks under pressure. Core values are not just a branding exercise, although a lot of people do it. I want you to think of them as your easy button. Easy button for decisions on how you spend your time. Easy button on what you decide to invest in. Easy button for who you hire, for who you fire. Easy button for what you want to create. When you really know what your core values are, and if you need help with that, we do this in my tribe at Limitless You. Go to unlocklimitlessyou.com/call. It's just super fun and cool and enlightening and lightening. You feel so much better once you have that alignment. Let me know if you want some assistance with it. We're here for you. There's a million ways to do this. I just invite you to do them one way so that you're clear on your core values. You know why you have them. You know how you want to feel. So your decisions speed up. Your focus sharpens. Your energy stops leaking all over the place. And instead it surges and you create synergy. And you no longer ask, should I do this? You ask, do I want to do this? You don't ask, what's everybody else doing and how do I do that? You ask, what aligns with who I am and what I want to build? And that clarity just compounds. And when you slow down to do that, things just naturally speed up with ease. Aligned entrepreneurs don't execute better because they hustle harder or they're tougher. They execute better because they waste less energy. They put energy into what they want to do versus on what they feel they should do. Most people believe that discipline or that hustle creates results, but without alignment, it doesn't. It causes you to be exhausted. That freedom that you started out seeking becomes your jail cell, your hamster wheel. So let's reorder things. Slow down, figure out what is alignment to you. Get the clarity that you need. So then consistency is natural and easy, and then the results will come. When your business reflects your values, you follow through, not because you have to or you should, because it matters to you. You hold standards because they actually mean something. They don't just come from somebody else's example that has a successful business or look good on the wall. You've thought through them. They're a part of who you are and who you want to be surrounded by with. And you stay disciplined, if you want to still call it that. I would just call it aligned. Because now you know who you are and you trust yourself. And you don't need anybody else to tell you what you should do. You intuitively know. That's operational precision, my friend. That's alignment from inside out. So here's your experiment for this week. Again, I never want you just to take my word for it. Take it, try it. Write this down. You might not answer it right away, but start by asking yourself, where am I forcing discipline or hustle right now? Where does it feel heavy? And then ask, what's really valuable to me? And is it missing here? Not what habit, not what system, not what financial value. What do you value? Usually when I get to the root of it, if you want to get the root of what's important to you, go to unlocklimitlessyou.com/resources and download the Getting the Root of It. Why do you do what you do? My guess it's not for the money. The money has meaning. You believe that money will get you something, and that something has meaning and will get you something else. And usually it comes down to safety, worthiness, or protection. But quite often the things that you're chasing, that you're hustling, that you're disciplining about are keeping you from feeling safe. Truly. They're not freeing you usually. They're locking you up. So I want you just to think about, what do I really want and value? What is my way of being? What do I want in my life? Align to those things. That is going to fix what force and hustle and discipline never can. So I want you to know the most successful, and by successful, I mean entrepreneurs that are actually happy and free, they're not hard on themselves. They're aligned. They don't work the hardest or hustle the most. They're aligned. They're present. They're healthy. Alignment will create clarity. Clarity, if you want to call it discipline, you can, but I'll just say clarity creates consistent alignment. That's what I'm talking about. And that consistent alignment makes results natural, magnetic. You attract them. So the happiest entrepreneurs, they aren't less ambitious. They're just no longer fighting who they are and what they desire, what they really want. They know that what they want is the feeling, not necessarily the things that they have been thinking that they need to get that feeling. Open up your mind. It's brilliant. Instead of converging on, here's a definition of what I should to get the way I want to feel, get divergent, get creative. How might I feel the way I want to feel? How might I explore different ways of doing that feel less heavy, that feel less hard, that feel more aligned? You don't need more discipline. You don't. Try alignment. When your values are clear, everything will follow that you desire. Your results don't just improve, they compound in all facets of your life. Alignment is not about doing less. It's about doing more of what matters consistently. What matters to you, not to me, not to your coach, not to your guru, to you. Who are you? What really matters? Don't force yourself into success. Build it from who you are. That's how it's going to last. And feel good while you're doing it. If this shifted something for you today, take a moment to share this masterclass with someone who's ready to move from pressure into clarity. And if you're ready to go deeper to truly understand who are you, what drives you, what core values are yours, and start making decisions from alignment instead of hustle and hard work, you can book a call with me at unlocklimitlessyou.com/call. There, you'll also find all of our free resources, including the Getting to the Root of It, the one I mentioned, and our fabulous self-love quiz that takes less than 5 minutes and tells you a lot about your way of being with yourself and others that will change your life forever. Because when your inner world is aligned, your outer world begins to reflect it.